Hello. I am the genuine real electro-algorithmic total numerical efficiency sorting system. You know, the greatness meter from that was great, wasn't it? Keith is under the weather and having trouble talking. Miracles, am I right? But fear not, season 2 of That Was Great will not be delayed. Crane kicking off September 9th, 33 years to the day it originally debuted. We'll be jumping on the Cobra Kai coattails to cover The Karate Kid. Join Keith and his friends, and me of course, as we reminisce on our youth via the nostalgic power of a Saturday morning cartoon about Mr. Miyagi, Daniel, and Taki. Wait? Who the hell is Taki? How is she tied to the shrine? Wait, what the hell is the shrine? This seems a long way away from the All Valley. Subscribe today. Obviously there will be continuity details from week to week you'll need to keep up with. Follow us on Twitter and Insta and How Great Was That? Until then, we look forward to you listening. Did he make me say Crane kicking off?
Because you know why? He's a Frankenstein's monster. Ugh, he's grotesque.
He's so grotesque. This is part of the lore now, is that we have Frankenstein monsters fighting in the U.S. Army.
Boy, this is always a challenge.
It's always hunting season.
And then when it's always hunting season.
Are what is commonly known in the trade as restraining cuffs. Well, no, it doesn't matter anyway. They didn't send me the key.
And what is this? The Tijuana phone book?
No, this is my 20 easy lessons. See? Here's a chapter on how to follow men. See? Here's a chapter on how to follow women. Here's a chapter on how to follow men disguised as women. You see, Grandpa? I am too a detective.
Hello and welcome to another amazing, groundbreaking, one-of-a-kind, genre-defining episode of the Munster Hunters, the only show that dares to shun millions, billions, trillions of hours of unique, brand new, entertaining, streaming content, all to watch a 60-year-oldish sitcom about a Frankenstein monster and his grotesque family. My name is Derek, and I'm a Munster Hunter, and joining me alongside, seated at the Frankenstein-headed table. Boy, I was on such a roll, I forgot what I was talking about. The Frankenstein-headed table is Shun DMC himself, Keith.
Hey, what's up? It's Keith, and I too am a Munster Hunter.
Yes. And sitting there with Shun DMC across the table, playing that game where you put your hand out and then stab in between your fingers with a sharp knife. You know what I'm talking about? That. Well, Terry knows because he's doing it. It's the Dr. Dre of Terry, Kansas.
Yeah. Hello, I'm a Munster Hunter. I'm surprised you guys recognize me with my fake mustache and my glasses and my new hat.
You're Kansas Vickroy this time.
Yeah, Kansas Vickroy. In disguise.
Yep,
undercover.
Agent Kansas. That's what they call me.
Agent Kansas. That's a pretty good superhero name or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Very specific, but you know what?
Yeah.
We could
I've
use
been watching My Hero Academia.
Oh, yes.
With my oldest, and we love it. But that's like Agent Kansas, Quirk.
Yeah.
Center.
Yes.
He's always at the center of everything.
Geographical center of
Geographical center of the United States.
Yes. Yep. That's me.
Well, how you boys doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Oh,
I've been, hunting for clues, looking for any sort of sign about the next Munsters episode, and I think I'm getting hot on the trail.
I'll tell you what. Halfway to this one, I was like, boy, I wish there was a clue for the next one. Wish I could just jettison to the next episode, call it a day.
Yeah, there is a moment.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a few.
Based on how quick the cold open is, I was like, wow, this is going to be a quick episode. And no, then it wasn't.
Well, I just assumed that they had to have such a quick cold open because they got such a beefy story they have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing they could have cut out. No. At all.
No, and we're talking about season 1, episode 23. Follow that Munster. But before we do that, before we we're going to follow up. No, that's a terrible segue.
Before we follow that Munster, we're going to follow Derek.
Yeah, there we go. Boy, Keith, that's why you are the segue king. Before we follow that Munster, follow me. I'm going to grab a candle, go down the hallway, go watch out for low-hanging fruit, the Twizzlers, the red turds, the cobwebs, all that other stuff. Open the gate, look at the ghosts. They have escaped my containment unit, otherwise known as a vacuum. We are here in the cathedral of the Munster Almanac. On the shelf, there's tons of movie to book translations. What are those called?
Wait, what is that called? Not adaptions. Is it
Novelizations?
Novelizations of movies. I like the movie to book translations.
Translations.
It's
yes.
those. Indiana Jones comings and goings and leavings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Indiana Jones comings on the table. Gross.
I thought we
You're the
put
one
that up
that
before.
said it.
That's a sequel we don't talk about. Yeah.
And then there it is, the giant tome. It's getting bigger and heavier every week, it seems. Let me get it off there. Blow off the dust. Creak it open. Blow off more dust. Drop it to one knee. Hold it up. Present it to Keith so we can read it like... What do I call you? A preacher? No. Priest. Priest. Like a preacher, man.
A preacher.
The only one that could ever read the almanac was the Munster Hunter preacher man.
Yeah.
The only one who could was the Munster Hunter preacher man.
Yeah, I'm the only one fluent in Munsterese.
Yes. So
yes.
Hold on.
Yep.
We got to do this for the Munster Hunter tidbit fit shit. Boy, there's just so many words anymore. Factoid fact of the week. Psalm of the week. Okay.
This week we are going to open up Kitty, book 6.
Oh. I thought we were going to dissect a cat.
No. 610.
Well, we've been hanging out in all the pet chapters, haven't we?
Yep.
Hold on. All right, you know what? Let me close it.
No.
Tap it. All right, let's open it back up.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like,
here we
turn
are.
this car around. We're going right back home.
doing it.
Yeah, no, we're not doing this today. Forget it. No. No. All right, fine. We are we're in Herman 610.
Oh, Herman
Classic. Oh yeah, I mean,
Hold on. Let me flip a few more. Hold on. Let me adjust a few more pages. No, all right, we are at Herman 1950.
1950.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, in looking up some things here, I was looking at the trivia on IMDb.
Oh boy.
And going through, and I was, wanted to add some new things to the almanac, some new factoids and stuff like that. And I came across TV Guide's 50 greatest TV dads of all time.
Oh boy.
As of 2004. Now, I went to the TV Guide website. I couldn't even find this list there anymore. I searched up a whole bunch of things. Everything references is back to the same list from 2004. So,
it says 18-year-old list. This list is old enough to vote.
It is. And I'm sure it would be happy to vote a couple extra people onto this list that aren't there. But this is what I leading up into, coming over to go to the Frankenstein Monster headed table. I was scrolling through trying to find some sort of updated list, but even like IMDb, you look it up and it just listed based off of the 50 greatest dads of all time. Actually, I think they made one small change. And that's because of the number one on the list. But Herman Munster comes in at number 19.
Number 19.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it from, so the last 18 years, there's a decent amount of other TV dads that have come out there. Eric Taylor on Friday Night Lights did show up on a couple other lists I saw, but none of them were like the full comprehensive. The other lists I did find were like since 2010 or, stuff like that, like where they didn't really have anybody from any older shows as well to compare to. But, so like Eric Taylor or the Bluth from what's that show?
Arrested Development. Yeah.
Thank you. Or the Modern Family Dads, etc. So they had a lot of more upfront, like things from like the last 10 years or so on those lists. But this was the only one that seemed to like cover a very large amount, even if it did stop in 2004. So I thought I would just go over what like the top 10.
Yes.
Top 10.
Can we guess?
Yeah. I mean, if you would like to guess at a few.
Well,
you guys want to make 2 or 3 guesses as to the greatest dads of all time?
Yep.
And I can tell you if they fell into the top 50 or not, and then I'll run down the top 10.
But this list is from 2004.
Yeah, so just like,
that could be tricky. Oh boy.
Now, is the only reason you're using this list is because it's the only one that had Herman Munster in it?
Well, I couldn't find anything else that spanned like the early years of TV. So yeah, Herman's on this list because it's TV Guide's top 50 TV dads of all time, but they haven't bothered to update their lists in 18 years either.
Well, so I mean, okay, that's fine.
You know what? Maybe he's not 19 anymore, but I doubt he's off the top 50.
I don't know.
I'd be willing to say he's still in the top 25.
I don't know. I just went to some other website that says 40 best TV fathers, and it has some more recent ones on here because what's his face from Schitt's Creek is on there. But
yeah,
there ain't no Herman Munster. That's why I asked. But let's pretend I didn't ask. And let's talk about.
I was also taking TV Guide as a credible source.
Yes,
I think they're the most credible source when it comes to TVs.
I mean, they are a guide for TV, so I thought this would work. And yes, I was really hoping I would find something that was a little bit more updated, with maybe some of the more modern day fathers that are in there. I found one that had Walter White on the list. I don't think he's a very good father to be on the list. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question. Does it mean is he like actually like good at being a dad, or is it just like great is he a dad character who happens to be a dad?
Yeah. I think this list is who are actually really good fathers.
Oh, okay.
And are also on the list. You guys want to toss out 1 or 2 names each? We'll see where they are on the list, and then after that, I'll run down the top 10 if you haven't caught any of them.
So this is 2004. So I got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
All right. The dad from Leave It to Beaver.
All right. He is on the list. He came in at number 28.
Number 28.
Ward Cleaver.
Yeah.
28.
So Herman beat him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Homer Simpson.
All right. He also is on the list. Number 35.
Dang. All right.
I think over time, over like 18 more years, I think Homer probably moves up that list. Breaks into the top 20 at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is 2004. Cliff Huxtable.
Ding, 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 ding. Number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's Cliff? Who is that? I don't know.
That's from the Cosby Show.
That's Bill Cosby from the Cosby Show.
Okay.
And I do believe so. IMDb had a list, and it said the TV Guide's top 50 on theirs, and I do believe Cliff Huxtable is no longer number 1 on that list.
No, people try to distance themselves from.
I think they
cause at all costs, which is probably a good move.
Yeah, I think everyone else got moved up one space on that. Terry, do you have one more?
Is it the dad who yelled at Herman because space aliens? He thought his son was a space alien.
No. He was number 51.
Dang it!
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've already established Herman is number 19. Another from the Cleaver verse, Ward Cleaver. He's on the or Beaver verse, I think we're calling it. He was 28. Yep. Homer. I'm trying to do the thing where the Munsters where they recap everything again for everybody immediately. Number 10, Ray Barone from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 9, Howard Cunningham from Happy Days. Number 8, Andy Taylor from the Andy Griffith Show.
That's a good,
Number 7, Steve Douglas from My 3 Sons.
Okay.
You have to be a good dad because that show is called My 3 Sons.
Yeah.
Yeah. We move up to number 6, Jim Anderson, Father Knows Best. And I do believe that's the one just in like a recent episode I referenced because
you wanted to lean on the mantle.
Yeah, you wanted to lean on the mantle like him. So it's a good thing that he came in ahead of Herman.
Yeah.
If Herman's looking up to him.
Good point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Number 5, Danny Williams from Make Room for Daddy.
Boy, man, I love how like this list makes me feel
Young, yeah.
You make
Well,
me
especially
feel
these
so
next
young.
ones. These next ones really are, Derek. Number 4, Charles Ingalls, Little House on the Prairie.
Wow. Wow.
There hasn't been better dads. Okay.
Number 3, John Walton Sr. from the Waltons.
Come on, TV guide. See,
He's the best dad.
Number 2, and Derek, I'm surprised you didn't get this one. Ben Cartwright. From Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say
for 2.
From everything I know about Bonanza, he's not a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I know from Bonanza is the retelling of Bonanza episodes from comedians. So,
yes.
Mm-hmm. So those are top 10. Dan Connor from Roseanne came in at 13. Forrest Bedford, the show called I'll Fly Away. I do not even know what that is.
No,
he came in at 17. I honestly that's the only one of the names of these shows that I did not actually recognize the name of the show.
I know you would like to point out the things that nobody knows and say them like we should all know them.
Well, I thought maybe one of you two knew what that was. I didn't know that.
You are the master of obscurity, and if you don't know it, then we probably don't either.
Well, it can't be too obscure if he's like number 17 on a top 20
in a 20-year-old list. Yes, there's a chance it's obscure.
George Lopez was 18th. I assume over time he probably dips down a little bit. And like Homer moves
from
up.
what show?
The George Lopez show.
He had a show.
Yeah. I remember watching that on Nick at Night. Yep.
Tim Taylor was number 20.
Ugh. The Tool Man.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Andy Sipowicz was 31.
Sipowicz from NYPD Blue.
Yep.
That doesn't seem like a very dad-centric show.
Jason Seaver from Growing Pains was 37. George Jefferson, 44. I'm trying to see if any of the rest of these are really.
What, George Jetson?
No,
nope, great TV dad.
He did not make it.
Fred Flintstone.
They don't have it. There's no animated ones on here.
Homer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's no other ones. That's interesting. Archie Bunker was 24th. Tony Maselli from Who's the Boss was 23rd. Philip Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That'd be the last one that I think really stands out. He was 34th.
Okay, I'm gonna do top 10, and then I'm just gonna randomly suggest.
I just ran through a couple of the other ones. Look, you told me to stop pick out obscure ones, so I went through the ones that people would know the most. All right. I didn't go with Doug Lawrence from Family.
You wanted to say it, and you just did.
You better be a good dad.
Oh my god, that's an interesting list. It makes me miss the year 2004 when things were so much simpler back then. The dad from Bonanza and Cosby could be revered.
Yeah, they were the great people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then, not now.
Probably not then either.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Probably never were necessarily. Yeah.
I mean, it does show you that at some point in time, though, people put even in 2004, people still were putting a lot of faith in the father of Western TV shows.
From the 60s,
yeah. Bonanza, the Waltons, and Little House on the Prairie getting.
There's a lot of 30 and 40-year-old TV shows, maybe even 50-year-old TV shows on that list in 2004.
Yeah.
So, what? Danny Tanner, he wasn't on there from Full House?
No.
Wow.
Either was Al Bundy.
Yeah, I would say Al Bundy's a better dad than Papa Bonanza.
Yeah.
The dad from Brady Bunch?
Yeah, he's number 14.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh, is Gomez on there?
No, he's not.
Dang, okay.
And that I'm actually very shocked by.
Yeah, I like Gomez. He's weird, but yeah, he's got a way about him.
I don't know. It seems weird that he did not make this list, considering it does have a lot of these very older shows on. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I don't. That's not obscure, but I don't want to possibly go over more obscure stuff. So. Derek.
Keep taking offense because I don't know how you can not realize that you know all this weird minutia from Days of Yore, and you get
Days of Yore, like the 1600s,
and you get upset when other people don't remember it the same way you do.
I said I don't even know what I'll Fly Away is.
I know.
It's got the guy, but it's got the guy from Law and Order.
But you went through it, and you're like, well, if I don't know what it is, you probably do. No.
I thought maybe one of the two of you had heard of it before.
No,
I don't know what it is.
Carrie never even heard of the Fall Guy.
Oh, speaking of which, apparently Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are making a Fall Guy movie.
Oh.
Now, this isn't the video game Fall Guys we're talking about.
No, this is the one that we recently referenced and sang along with.
Right. Okay.
Well, at least I like those two.
That was great.
So anyway, there you go. I'm headed up. I'm running up. You guys keep staying down there if you want, but I'm headed up.
Too late. We're on the boat, Keith. I've got the motor going.
Wait a minute. How did I get on the boat? I was just...
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's maybe some passages in the walls that we haven't told you about yet.
Yeah. There's also some lost time. We were all abducted.
Oh. Yeah, by Forrest Bedford of I'll Fly Away.
Yep.
He flew us away to the scuba.
To the scuba. So we've already went up the stairs, out the door, through the courtyard, out the back gate, down the dock, gotten on the ship. So Captain Carey, man, I can't talk today. Y'all are flustering me. Captain Terry or Tapton Carey. Captain Terry, the Terry of Kansas, Dr. Terry of Kansas, is going to take us 3 miles out into international waters so we can plunge deep, deep, deep down to the gates of hell for another skooma.
All right, so now that we're down here, this episode was directed by a very familiar name, Joseph Pevney. We've seen this guy a lot recently.
Yes.
We actually even covered him last time, the Dance With Me Herman episode. Yeah. You know, he did a lot of work as a stage actor and director, I learned, though, this week as I was digging around in his, his closet. I was trying to find some skeletons. All I found out were his resume. I found out he did some stage acting for Broadway even. So he's got about 10 credits for Broadway productions. And he acted in most, but he actually directed a couple as well throughout the 30s and 40s. So that's pretty cool.
Can I say that I 100% forgot Come Dance With Me, Herman, until you just mentioned it. Absolutely forgot it.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I clicked on it. I was like, oh, that's right. When I read the synopsis, I remember liking that one. Yeah, it's just not something about the show. Kind of like it. It's like popcorn, you know. It kind of just like disappears after a little bit.
Yeah.
But this episode was written by Joe Connolly and Bob Mosher. You may have heard of them. We've talked about them a million times already. They've written, I don't know, about 1 billion Munsters episodes. I'd say we're about a third of the way through their work, so we still got a ways to go. But I feel like I have to mention most of the time that they created Leave It to Beaver. That's probably their biggest claim to fame, I guess. I don't know.
Speaking of top TV dads.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, yeah, they got 2 of the top 28 TV dads. It's great.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yes, it's like a really good fantasy TV dad draft.
Yes.
I got 2 of the top 28 TV dads ever.
I didn't realize, though, I was looking at their credits, that they are both credited as producers on every single Munsters episode. So I don't know what that entails exactly, but they were there. They're in there deep for the Munsters.
They have to ensure that their creative direction is met. Or their creative vision is met every time.
Trying to maintain that particular Munsters brand of humor.
Oh, boy. Yep.
So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. That I didn't realize. I guess I just didn't notice that until now, that they've been around the whole time. So good for them. So we got a couple guest stars on this. We got Ken Lynch as Mr. Kemper, or Kempner. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then Dora Singleton as Mrs. Andrews. So, if there ever was an actor born to play a tough Irish cop, it was Ken Lynch.
I thought that as soon as I saw him.
At least according to IMDb, that is what they say about the guy. He's got 196 acting credits on IMDb going from 1947 to 1983. He's done a pretty, decent amount of television, movies, pretty common around these parts. And he was pretty... And he was in a pretty popular movie, I should say, Alfred Hitchcock movie, North by Northwest.
Yeah, very popular.
Yeah, big deal. And he was also in an episode of Bat Masterson, so Igor would be very proud.
Igor is proud.
Mm-hmm. It's a shame they didn't get a meet in this episode, but that's
I
all right.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Speaking of Hitchcock, we always talk about how weird all these trailers are for all these movies, but I feel like that was kind of his like big thing, right? Like his movies always had like a weird. He was kind of like a character of himself. Like people knew Alfred Hitchcock because he was always in all his movies. He was always like really weird with his trailers. And I don't know, maybe he started that trend. Maybe that was already a trend. I wish if only there was some way to know for sure how this started, but it's probably impossible to find out.
I more want to know why they stopped.
That's a better question.
Bring it back.
Yes. But yeah, I was watching the trailer for North by Northwest, and yeah, he's like talking to the audience about planning a vacation. He goes on for a long time about this, gets a little bit cheeky about the movie, like murder and all this stuff. I've never actually seen North by Northwest, but I really need to because I really like Hitchcock's movies. They're usually pretty good. So
I really like Hitchcock. I haven't seen them all either. I really like Jimmy Stewart too.
Yes, I like Jimmy Stewart. He's great.
But I remember my fondest memory of Alfred Hitchcock is always from Alfred Hitchcock Presents TV show because he always called that good evening. I always liked that. I love that. And he would turn and talk to the camera about the story, and then you get like a Hitchcockian Twilight Zone sort of episode.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
I was very worried that's what you were trying to get Terry to do with the knife there when he was like going between his fingers, because I think if you mess one up then you have to cut off a finger at some point in time. That's one of the classic Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes.
Oh really?
The lady is trying to get she convinces this guy to bet, and he has to.
A gambler in Las Vegas accepts a bet.
Yeah,
with the mysterious old Southern man.
But it's not doing that. It's he actually has to light a lighter 10 times.
Light a cigarette lighter 10 times. Yeah, and then they do that in 4 rooms. Yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino steals that as a thing, and then becomes a point of that story. Yeah.
But then the super creepy part in the Alfred Hitchcock one is like the lady who's like is there and like is like kind of egging the guy on. Mm-hmm. Like she eventually pulls her like glove. She has like one of those long gloves on. She pulls it off and she's missing like one of her hands is missing 4 fingers already or something like that. Because she's already failed out. I don't know why I thought it was the other thing, but never mind, the thing from the beginning that you referenced, because I thought of that as well when you mentioned it while we're sitting at the table.
That's similar. Knives and fingers. Fingers and knives.
Yeah. That's the Alfred Hitchcock thing that always sticks out to me is that specific episode, and that was even before Tarantino reused it.
Yeah, he's always had like an iconic, like his voice. Like you're right, Derek. Like, well, this is me. I'm Alfred Hitchcock. I'm gonna scare you about this horrible thing. Or he drones on about vacations apparently. But our other guest star, Doris Singleton, has 72 acting credits on IMDb, going from 1952 to 1985. She's done mostly TV. She was in, the Red Skeleton Hour, My 3 Sons. She had a recurring role in 10 episodes of I Love Lucy. And according to IMDb trivia, she was originally going to have a much bigger role in Here's Lucy as a secretary. And it was supposed to be kind of like Lucy's rival at work or whatever. Like Lucy's supposed to be very incompetent and she's supposed to be the competent one. But they cut it out after like the first episode, or like cut most of it out at least, because they wanted to focus more on like Lucy's home life rather than working and stuff like that. So,
it's hard to imagine a woman in the workplace.
Oh yeah, oh god. The big shocker though, what I found out is Doris Singleton and Ken Lynch were both in a movie together.
What?
Yeah, it's called Voice in the Mirror. And it sounds like a pretty dark movie about a man who struggles after the loss of his child. He begins to drink excessively. You know how it goes. Yes. It's like, oh, nice. Okay. He seems to be in a real bad spot. He meets a man named Tobin, and he also has a drinking problem, but they decide to help each other, and they form like a group, kind of sort of like AA. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. It's a dark movie, but, that's cool. What are the odds they'd both be in it? Pretty neat. Yeah. And, it's the Munsters, so we got to talk about some dark stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're down deep near the gates of hell. I can see Satan waving at us. Hello.
Oh, he's always so friendly, isn't he? Hey, guys.
Did you bring me any potatoes? Not today, Satan.
Not this time. We know you want that potato. If you get a hand on that, we know what happens.
End of the world.
Surprised he doesn't just want potato salad. I mean, it's hell.
Wait, you don't like potato salad?
No, he doesn't like potato salad.
Yeah, yep. Well, I'm sure he'd accept that as well.
Yeah, potato salad's delicious.
That's all I've got.
Who wouldn't
So
want potato salad?
yeah. Let's just it's very tempting to go down and speak to Satan for a second, but let's just slowly rise up, wave, just kind of say our goodbyes. Maybe I'll send them a telegram, just being like, "Hey, hope things are going well."
Too
as
late.
we slowly rise to the surface.
I'm already at the end of the episode, and I've got nothing.
Oh
No.
Hold on, wait a minute.
It's time warped again. Dang it.
Yeah,
Derek, do you mind going back to
I'll come back. Sorry,
recapping
guys.
the episode again? Because I don't know how we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek, could you rewind about 3 hours so we can?
Oh
get
God,
back
it
to
is
where
like
we
3
started?
hours too, isn't it? All right. Phew. Here we are. Boy, that was one heck of a skooma. I was really excited when you're like, they're both in the same movie. I'm like, oh, this could be a fun one to watch. And then it turns out it probably isn't.
Nope.
No.
It is on YouTube
that's
though
kinda
for
sad.
free.
Yeah, there you go. I watched a little bit of it, and yeah, it looked kind of sad.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that's the kind of thing I'm up for.
yeah, it didn't seem something I'd be super interested in.
Yeah. Here we are. Season 1, episode 23. 23rd goddamn episode of this show. Follow That Munster. Originally aired February 24th, 1965. It says here, Herman takes a correspondence course to become a private detective. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and initially seems like a brilliant premise to me. Initially,
Yeah.
This
I
one
won't go into details. The DVD does give you like a little bit like larger synopsis of the thing, and I read it and I was like, oh, this actually could be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, it gets what I would call a hefty 7.7 IMDb. So 7.7 is one of the higher rated Munster episodes.
oh yeah.
So that
true.
means
yeah,
people watch this and were like, I'm okay with that and that and that. Gave it a
Yeah.
10. All right.
I mean, there's a few things. If people are giving it a score now, I mean, there's a few things that they probably just chalk up to that was the times. And I hope that
guess.
they're setting that aside, still trying to base the rest of the episode. But like, I don't know, like our average is probably like a 6 overall, like of all the episodes so far. So yeah, anytime we're getting into this, the 7s at all seems like a lofty score to me. There's been very few that I think it's like actually said we're like a 7 or better.
Yeah. Yeah. This one.
yeah. There's been a couple that I like, but I really liked, I should say. Not that I hate most of these episodes. Usually, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I would say you're right. That 7.8, especially in like if you just you're right. Looking at the canon of IMDb reviews, it's like really this one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know either. Anyway, this one opens with an interestingly pitched down version of the Munsters theme. Did you notice that? It's like,
Yes, I loved it. I liked it a lot. It's kind of ominous. It was like a little creepy.
and Herman walking in the front door. Herman is getting home late. Grandpa's like, where you been? Lily's already in bed. Grandpa wants to know what Herman's been up to. This is the third straight night of being out late. And Herman says, I am engaged in a project that will benefit mankind and keep the streets of our country safe for women and children everywhere. Which makes it sound, boy, he's doing something real important.
Yeah,
Turns out,
Super honorable every time.
super honorable. This guy, boy, he's out saving the planet. Turns out he's a detective, a private detective. He's even got a badge. He opens up his coat. It's like, I'm part of, what did he say? I don't even, law enforcement. I don't know what he says.
There's like some club thing, that like you can basically just sign up and get a badge right away.
But Grandpa straight up calls him crazy. And then he says something, and it was such a weird phrase. When the boys from whatever, blah, 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 come with the canvas
The
house
happy
coat.
hatch. Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, wow. Don't tell them you're my son-in-law.
Yeah. That's a fun term for straitjacket. The canvas
Yeah.
house coat.
Yes.
Grandpa laughs
Very strange.
at Herman. And that's the end of the cold open. It's just like a straight
Yeah,
up.
it was fast.
Might be the
Herman sees
fastest one we've had yet. because I was really thrown off that they cut to the banger.
Yeah, and straight to the point too. They set up that Lily's already alone in bed.
She's already starting to get pissed.
She's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
And we know that he's been sneaking out at night. So I'm gonna give him a compliment. Pretty good cold open.
It cut right to the quick, and then we got the banger. And it's normal speed.
And I will say, I noticed the tuba this time that you mentioned a couple episodes ago, and I dug it. Very nice, chunky tuba sounds at the end.
Yeah, I never noticed it before, but for some reason I was like staring off into space while it was going on, and I was like, "Oh, I hear that," or whatever it is, right? And I'm just like, "Oh, that's good."
It was.
So we come back from El Bangarino to breakfast, because it would not be a Munsters episode if they're not engaging in a meal in some way.
Yes.
The All-American family. They are
the All-American family. They eat a lot. Marilyn wants to know what time Herman got in last night. Like, what difference does it make to you?
Yeah. None of your business.
None ya. What time she get in? None ya. None ya o'clock.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I think, like, obviously she's much younger than Lily, but she's also probably, like, Lily and her talk all the time, and so she already knows, like, that Lily's like, Herman's out again.
Yeah,
and they're probably already talking a little bit. So now she's like, what time did you finally come in?
And Lily says 11 o'clock, and had a lame excuse about getting lost on the way home from work. That is a very lame excuse.
I'd believe it. I would believe it with Herman, though.
So there's a lot about this episode. We'll get to it, but there's things I just don't get. Now Eddie has the moment of the show, which I was like, oh. Eddie thinks Herman is leading a double life. He's really criminal on parole, and he has to go out at night and pay blackmail so they don't tell everyone his mother runs a saloon in New Orleans. And he was really into this. He had a very elaborate... I loved this moment from Eddie. And this is all of Eddie for this episode right here.
Yeah. He does this, like, he's done this like a couple other times too, where he pulls something from like whatever he's been doing or watching and elaborate something that Herman's up to or something like that. And I loved it. Yeah, it was great.
Lily's, where did you get such an idea? Oh, from the second show of the Kitty Matinee. And Lily says, oh, those horror shows. It's like, so Lily thinks Eddie should stay home on the weekends digging up Bones' spot. Womp womp. Herman and Grandpa are in the basement, and Lily thinks they're up to something. She'd feel much better if she heard some explosions.
Yes, because, I mean, I guess that's kind of a trend with Grandpa being down there. You always hear something.
It's a little too quiet.
So, for some reason, Herman's a detective.
Yep.
He goes out at night. I don't know. Well, we'll find out what the goal of being a detective is. But he won't tell Lily what he's doing. His wife. He won't be like, well, I'm going out to be a detective.
I was questioning this the whole time. Why can't he just tell his family what he's doing?
Well, he told Grandpa, and Grandpa said the Looney Tune people were going to come get him. So, I mean,
yeah, I guess
maybe they were all just going to make fun of him.
It's my lifelong dream to be a detective, and you all make fun of me. Yep. So we get Grandpa and Herman. They're in the basement, and Grandpa is reading the detective agency ad at the magazine. I don't remember the specifics, but I got $75 a week, glamour, excitement, and a badge on your first day. I'm like, oh, well, there you go. From the United States National Federal Detective Agency in Tijuana, Mexico. Then Grandpa says a slur, and I'm not going to say it.
Yep.
He just says, my son-in-law, the slur detective.
Yeah, I mean, again, 1964, they can get away with that stuff, but I was like, wait a minute, what did they just say?
Yes.
Yeah, I did a double take too. I was like,
yeah, and what's crazy is I had to bleep that out of that same slur out of that damn Joan Rivers movie clip.
Oh, that's right.
Lind.
And that was in like the 80s.
70s, late 70s. Either way.
Yeah, okay.
So I had to bleep out that slur. I'm not going to dignify the slur here. Then Grandpa says it's a scam with a word that might be slurish.
Yeah.
And then Herman, he's got an official kit, fingerprint kit, magnifying glasses. And then we hear we're up top. We got the broken handcuffs, pamphlet with 20 easy lessons. Wow. All that good stuff. So,
yep.
Go ahead.
I do like the imagery of Herman when he's like peeking his eye through the magnifying glass, like it's just this big old eye. He just seems so giddy about it, and then Grandpa.
And then Grandpa like does like the shoulder shove at him, and like I'm gonna punch you, and then Herman flinches.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point they're like God damn it! Why don't we just let him have that ham radio?
Yes. Just give him the ham radio. Give him anything. Grandpa's really antagonistic in this episode.
Yeah.
And seems way smarter than he does in other episodes. Anywho, Herman, Grandpa's like, what's the end game here? And Herman says, well, I'm going to quit my job and be in law enforcement. And I'm going to quit my low salary job to be in law enforcement. And Grandpa's like, well, you can't do that. You've been there for 12 years and you started as what I thought he said was mail boy, but it's not. He said nail boy.
Yeah.
He said nail boy?
Nail boy. As the boy that nails caskets shut. Or coffins, I guess. I guess you don't nail a casket shut, do you? You would nail a coffin shut, though.
I mean, he could shove the things up the tent in with his fingers. It probably works really well just to sit there with the nails and just...
Now,
that's true. He should probably get at it.
The first thing I thought, and when I get to editing, I'll have to determine if I edit this out. When he said nail boy, I don't know why I pictured crucifixion.
Yeah, no,
that's the first thing that popped in my head. So I don't know what's going on there.
Huh. Well,
that's a lot about me, I guess.
That's that dark, edgy Munsters humor. That we know.
Yes, he works at the crucifixion parlor.
Yes,
but no, Derek, no wonder you're always a little nervous when we're right outside the gate. It's hell.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Satan keeps holding.
He always gives.
Satan does this. He lifts up his wrist. He points at it like he's pointing at his watch. He's like, I know, time is coming.
Yeah. Yeah. He always gives Derek a knowing nod. I always thought that was weird, but
that's it. Right. That's it. But
we'll butter him up for
Herman.
it. It's fine.
Herman can't quit his job yet. He still needs practice. That's why he's been out shadowing people for the last 3 days. And then he does this dumb shit where he hides behind Grandpa, and then him and Grandpa do the Shaggy Scooby-Doo, like, turning in the same direction bit. Oh,
yeah.
But then Grandpa gets the better of him and spooks Herman, which was dumb as hell. Grandpa hates the whole thing, straight up. And he tells Herman if he keeps following people, if you keep tailing people, you get what we call something like punched in the mouth or something like that. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah.
But it was like, you keep doing that, you're going to get punched in the face.
It's so weird that Herman's been out there in just the public creeping on people for practice. Like that's, oh God, just imagining that.
Well,
it kind of gave me chills.
And we're going to see what he's been dumped to too. Oh, it was chilling.
Yes, it was.
But Herman, he's not having any of it. I'm on the verge of a career in law enforcement. He sent in an application to the Kempner Detective Agency in town. And guess what they said? Don't call us, we'll call you. So he's just waiting for that phone call. He's waiting by the phone. Cut to Herman sneaking out. And Lily is sitting in the front room mending a Wolfman doll, which was interesting. I like that. Lily catches him sneaking out and starts berating him. Where are you going? What is this? Blah, blah, blah. Herman says, instead of just saying, well, Lily, I'm training to be a detective, so I need to go out and do this. He says, there's some secret work I have to do that will eventually be of great benefit to my family.
Yes, this is when it first crossed my mind. I was like, why can't he just tell
say,
her?
hey,
I was like, just say it.
I'm going out to watch people because I want to be a detective.
But no, we gotta be sneaky about it. Herman's done this a few times where he doesn't want to tell his family because he's not ashamed of it. He seems very excited about this.
He's really excited. You'd think if he was excited for something, everyone else would be excited for him too. But the Munsters have a real hard time communicating with one another, unless it's yelling at someone or down at someone. So maybe that's why he doesn't want to say anything. It's like, I don't want to get yelled at. Just like the bank teller. He's afraid the bank teller is going to yell and make him cry.
He wants to succeed himself before he tells him, like, hey, I'm a detective.
Yeah. If I tell you I'm going to be a detective and don't follow through, then I'm a failure. But if you don't know I'm going to try to be a detective and I don't follow through, then no one knows and none the wiser. Until somebody says, remember that top secret work you're doing that eventually benefit your family? What's going to benefit us? And then he'd be, I've had enough of this. And he gets up from their table and leaves.
He pounds on the table and the plate starts spinning.
Why is everybody giving me the fifth? Is it fifth degree, third degree, first degree?
Third degree, whatever. First degree? Some degree.
It's a degree in one direction or another.
The higher it goes, the worse it is.
Is that how it is?
I don't know.
Keith?
You get third-degree burns. First, how's it? I'm like, you plead the fifth, you get third-degree burns. I don't know. Maybe everyone's giving them the fourth. I don't know.
Well, the fifth is an amendment. And then if we get a hold of them, then 8 to 10, we'll have 60 or so here. Lily's upset because Herman is ruining everything. Lily was going to go out too. She had plans for the evening. Herman's like, well, what are your plans? I was going to go knock on strange doors asking for donations for bundles for Transylvania. Bundles for Transylvania. Unique, I guess. I don't know. It had never been presented before.
It sounds like this is something that, well, she says she's kind of been slacking off on it a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, I guess because we don't ever see what Lily does all day, like, so maybe she has these bundles for Transylvania meetings and stuff.
I don't know.
Organize it.
You know, that's a good point. We never see Lily doing things. This would be a good plot line for Lily to be like, you know what, I'm going to, because as far as I know, she doesn't have like a job or anything. No. Like she's like trying to find stuff to do in her spare time and everything. Like she could try to be a detective. I don't know. She could become a wrestling prize fighter. Whatever she wants to do. That would be fun. But it's always Herman who's going out and getting into trouble.
I'm looking up to see if Bundles of Transylvania was a specific thing.
There's no way that was real. That just sounds like a fake charity.
All I get is the Hotel Transylvania movie collection bundle.
Transylvania 69,000 or whatever it was. Remember what was that? Transylvania
65,000.
I don't know, something like that. Bad movie.
Yeah.
So secret work for Herman. Lily was gonna do charity work, but now she can't. She wanted Herman to go with because she was gonna knock on strange doors. Herman's like, wait, no. And Lily's like, no, you do it. You go out, and then while you're out, send a one-word telegram to their friends in the old country. Starve. It's like, Jesus.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Take that guilt trip in.
Yeah. Lily's off. Herman's like, all right. But before he goes, he opens up his briefcase, and it's full of disguises. He puts on a note in one of those like nose glasses combos. He looks in the mirror, and he startles himself. He gets
scared.
I absolutely hated that. And then he pulls off the glasses and says, oh, it's only you. And the mirror breaks.
But I love the fact that like just putting up just a fake nose and glasses on seemed to keep the mirror from breaking.
Yeah.
You have to have Herman in his natural form to really affect it. Yeah.
Also, he had like a Lone Ranger mask in there, that thing, and a bunch of other stuff.
What is
going on?
We get to see a lot of variety of things he gets to wear.
Things we don't even want to see.
We get to see Herman out and about. First, he's dressed like a pilgrim, standing in a busy
I thought he was pretending to be. I thought he was being a statue at first. It looked like he was holding some
he was it's a statue of a pilgrim that's there, whatever park he's at. But what happens to the original statue? Does he like take it and move it? Like he hops up there. Also, who is like if he's just like training and practicing? Like who is he trying to see from? Like he's looking at everybody.
Yes,
he does not blend in at all. No. So far, I'm having a very good time with this montage. But so far, I'm like, this
montage starting montage-tastic.
I like that. I very much like his next outfit is great.
He's got a hat and a mustache and a monocle and a book, and he's watching people walk by.
Because you know me, I like Herman when he gets in like a new outfit, and this was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. I can't wait. There's limitless possibilities he can explore wearing these goofy costumes. I'm so excited to see what the next one is.
Limitless.
Big mustache.
Rules of three, right?
Pilgrim, funny.
Rules of three.
Yes, the last one's gonna be so funny.
We've got uptight British individual. Then we get this dude and a girl on a bench. Come on, sit closer. What for? So I can give you a kiss. Oh, I'd be embarrassed. Then close your eyes. Will you close yours too? Yes. So they close their eyes and they turn to kiss. Then up pops Herman with giant buck teeth and glasses that have squinty little eyes in them and a weird hat.
God.
And he leans in. And they both kiss either side of either one of his cheeks. And they open up and they open their eyes and scream. And then Herman says, and I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to say it as monotone as humanly possible. Oh, me no peeping Tom, me number one detective. That was tough because even though it's It's a horrible stereotype sort of thing, and was the center of many comedy bits, probably up until very recently. It was hard. It was hard to do that without accidentally slipping into that terribleness.
Yeah,
I thought Jerry Lewis was a guest on the episode.
Oh God, yes.
Real quick when he popped up there.
Yes. So
my mouth was agape when I saw this. Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mosher and Conley, right? They're producing, making sure their creative vision is met. They also wrote this one too, so
they did. Yeah, that's all. I got to put all the blame on them.
Yeah.
For this one.
And based on the time, I mean, like, you're like, oh man, I can't believe they actually have this in here. But I actually buy this one being in there more than the slur that they used earlier on, because I was like, man, wait a minute, what? You said what?
Yeah.
Where here I'm like, okay, yeah, at this point in time, this is a visual that's used all the time, and I get why they put it in there. It probably went over big at the time, but like,
well, I mean, I don't think we're too far removed from Mickey Rooney winning an Oscar, right, for Breakfast at Tiffany's, where he plays a little Asian man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even. Yeah, I forgot about that.
All right.
Yeah. Did not age well, this particular part.
No.
Yeah.
No, and this is really kind of sinks my overall score for this. It's the fact that these things are there, but again, the time is not an excuse for what time and all that. It was an excuse for having these in there. But it's just like now you're like trying to rewatch this. You're like, oh
yeah.
Well,
this would be one
what
I wouldn't show the kids. Also, I'm going to say up until this point, I don't think I've laughed at anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, outside of Eddie.
Yeah.
I like Eddie's was just like more of like a weird awkwardness to it, made me chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've actively laughed at anything. So now we cut to.
I laughed at the disguises, but that's it. Yeah, I thought those were funny until of course the one that made me do it 180. I was like, oh, that's not good at all. Cool.
So now we cut to Lily on the phone and hangs up. Well, he's not at the office. I bet he's seeing another woman. And Marilyn's like, no, Aunt Lily, calm down. But Lily, she's going first thing in the morning down to the Kempner Detective Agency to have Herman followed. Okie doke. Now we get another moment. We're at the Kempner Agency, and there's Lily talking to two dudes. Now we get the ultimate time filler of a Munster episode. Oh, we can handle this one. Describe your husband.
Oh,
here's an easy way to kill 2 minutes.
Yes.
They added a few new description things in this time
it's still
around, but
the same joke.
Yeah.
He's just your average guy. He's 1,000 pounds and 20 feet tall.
He's
three spins, Terry.
Average height.
Oh, that's right.
7'3". Does he ever play basketball? No, he keeps catching his head in the hoop.
Although he has, technically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But also, why does she think that's average height? He's gigantic compared to the people in his household.
Yes.
Any of Marilyn's boyfriends come over, he's huge and stands tall over them. And like even Moose Mallory looked incredibly small next to him. Why does she think this is average height?
I don't know. Maybe she thinks everybody else is below average. What about his weight? 3 spins. How does he wear his hair? A little long on the sides and flat on the top. And now the next question I thought was really weird. Ears?
Yeah.
He's got 2. They don't match though, but only the family can tell.
That was the fun new thing that they added in.
Yes.
So I was like, okay.
He's got just
non-matching
distinguished lantern jaw, piercing eyes, classic nose, and an overhanging forehead. He keeps the water out of his eyes when he's in the shower. Any scars or birthmarks? Just a dimple on his forehead, about 5 inches long, this wide and all jaggedy. I hope I don't lose my Herman. He's 1 in a million. 1 in a million. By the description, the odds are a bunch higher.
Does Charlie have the other Does Charlie have the 2
mismatched
ears?
ears?
Yeah, does he have the other 2?
Maybe.
I bet they do. Yeah, I bet they both have one of each, so they're both mismatched.
Lily leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Kempner's like, well, I don't want to put any of my guys on this one. This is too crazy. And just then, as if he knew, Herman calls looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
He calls himself 702. This is 702.
Yeah, and they didn't give him this name. He came up with this himself.
Self-appointed.
Is that maybe it's on the brochure that he got from the Tijuana people?
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
that could be. Yeah.
He's that boob that wants to be a detective. Wait a minute. We got the perfect thing for him. We send this boob out, and if he gets killed, then the union can't come after us. Great. So we're going to have him follow this Munster character. Listen up, 702. We got someone we want you to follow. We'll send you the information. Jealous woman wants her husband found. So Herman, oh, golly, oh, gee. But don't send it to my house. Send it to my place of work. I don't want anyone to know what I'm up to. And then he gets all giddy. I'm a detective. I'm a detective. I'm a detective. Which normally I enjoy Herman's giddy, but like I don't enjoy it in this context for some reason. Like I think it's just another super manufactured thing. Like there's no real reason for him to be detective. Right?
Yeah.
None. Other than it's like he's always thought it would be cool.
There's not really a setup like, he doesn't like get mixed up with a detective and starts doing it or something. Yeah.
Oh, well. Cut to Herman and Grandpa in the basement. I thought this part was amusing.
I did like this. This might be my favorite part of the episode.
Because Herman says, here's a description of the man they want me to follow. Apparently he goes out at night with no explanation, and his wife is suspicious. He's a philanderer. And then Grandpa's like, he's a bum. Grandpa doesn't like it one bit. But Herman wants to draw a composite drawing of him based upon the description. It's like, I'm going to draw the suspect. Grandpa's going to read the description. Herman's going to draw him. But someone stole my crayon, which I thought was, ugh. Now there's a thing coming up here where it's like, what?
Yeah.
Grandpa's got a pencil, so no worries. Gives him the pencil, but the pencil has no point. So Grandpa does the most obvious thing, sticks it into his mouth, it makes a sharpening noise, and he pulls it out, and it's sharp.
Yeah, that was another thing where my mouth agape, like, huh?
Yes. Grandpa's
I will say, nice job of editing though, because he puts it in his mouth, pulls it out, it's sharpened, and you can't tell that they switched out pencils.
Oh, I bet you had like a false cap on it or something like that. And he just pulled it off with his tongue.
Yeah. Ellis can just do that. I think he's just that's the one stunt he can do. I think. Yeah.
I eat pencils all day.
Oh yeah.
That's why he smokes cigars, so he stopped eating pencils.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a bad habit.
Gotta kick that pencil habit. So Grandpa starts reading the description, and every time he says something, flat head and long hair, long on the sides, flat on top, he looks up at Herman suspiciously, and Herman goes, "What are you looking at?" And Grandpa goes, "Nothing." And he just goes through the whole description, and Herman's really getting into it. He's drawing. Herman's drawing. Grandpa's describing. I wanted to play this clip, but there's so much dead air in it, and it took like 3.5 minutes. I'm like, well, it's way too long. So it's like, what was it? 7'2", 3 heavy set, long hair, flat top, piercing eyes, regular nose, a overhang brow, whatever. And Herman starts singing this German song.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. About his classic nose.
Yeah, classic nose, overhanging brow. Classic nose. And he's singing this song, and he's really getting into it, and I'm amused by it, but it's German. I have no idea. And the subtitles said German singing when I was watching it. And Grandpa's like, knock it off. Grandpa yells at him. Grandpa says, well, I was made in Germany, which is a revelation.
Yeah, true. Well, I guess, that's true, because, that's a good point, because I was like, oh, of course, because Frankenstein, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Sure, Germany, that makes sense, but I think they have said that Transylvania was like where he was made in the show. I thought so too. Right?
And it was like made by Nazis and fought the Nazis.
Yeah. That's my first thought was he was made in Germany and then was sent back to
take down the Fuhrer.
Take out Hitler. Yeah.
Yep.
And now look where he is now, hanging out in the park.
Yep. And then we get down to the dimple, and what are you looking at? Nothing. And then Herman finishes his drawing. And he flips it over, and it's a very nice profile caricature of Herman. Yep.
Yes, I love that picture.
Well, he probably didn't do it during the actual description because it looked like he was just kind of like mimicking drawing. I'm pretty sure that's probably a Fred Gwynne drawing.
Oh, yeah, I'm 100% sure it's
Also, during this time, there's a lot of them looking back and forth. they really upped the nostril makeup.
Oh, the nostril paint is intense in this episode.
Yeah, and then also there's not a lot of paint over Herman's eyes, like because they look to be like off colored the whole time.
I
compared to
noticed
the rest
that
of them.
too. I think it's meant from at a distance. I think all that makeup is meant not for close-ups, like the nostril paint is for distance, right? And I think the lighter colored eyes makes them stand out against the dark under the brow. I think, but it looks very noticeable.
It was insanely like when you get close up, because then you can actually see their actual nostrils, and then how much extra they go around with it. Like it's throwing me off a bit during what is probably one of the better scenes of this entire episode. Like I really enjoyed this whole part of Grandpa being like, nothing. Yeah.
They added like an extra 3/4 inch to the diameter or the radius of the nostrils. And then Herman shows the drawing, and then in a recording that was done clearly in a sound booth. Well, Grandpa, here's that poor boob. Here's what that poor boob looks like. And then Grandpa looks at it. He goes, "That poor boob is you." And for some reason, Herman doesn't see it. I don't understand how he doesn't see it. But Herman says, no, he's a philanderer. And if I was chasing women, I'd be the first one to know it.
Yeah. Okay. So, they went from really good scene to...
And so we have multiple situations in this episode. And here's the first of many where they're reading papers for the first time and are surprised by the contents. Right? Because at the bottom it says, right here, the person who wants this man followed is Mrs. Lily Munster. If Herman got the description and just skimmed it over real fast, you'd think the word Munster, it's his last name, would stand out at like a glance.
Yeah. Like I was asking that this whole time, like, so the detective agency just gave him a description
and not the name.
That's it? Like, yeah. And I was like, I was kind of upset with that. And then when they revealed it, I was still a little upset that they just didn't read it. Yes. But I was like, why? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Why wouldn't, like, even a video game will say, the person you need to follow, Herman Munster. Here's his description. They don't just give you a description and you have to go hunt this guy down.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, they're giving him this to kind of like make him go away, and also so that they don't have any like legalese if something happens. So maybe they purposely don't do that.
I guess. But they say
I'm just
Lily
trying to fill
Munster.
like plot holes here. Yes, at the end, and also Grandpa's been looking over that sheet the whole time, doing like the description, and he never once sees that it says her name on it either.
No. So then Herman, being the brightest bulb in the chandelier, says, so the person I'm supposed to follow is Herman Munster.
Yeah.
Herman goes over to the lesson booklet looking for a chapter on following yourself. Grandpa says, Herman, look, you can't tell Lily you're a detective. Why? I don't understand. Yeah. I just don't get that. But
the episode would be over.
Yeah. But I've got a scheme.
True.
Of course he does. So he's going to go out and he's going to file a very valuable report on Herman Munster. You're happy, Lily is happy, and the agency is happy. Then they laugh.
Not a bad concept coming from Grandpa.
No.
Yeah, makes sense, I guess, in a roundabout way.
But
if you absolutely can't tell her for some reason, sure, do this. Yeah.
But now we cut to Lily gathering the whole family in the living room. Grandpa, you sit there. Marilyn, sit there. Herman, you sit here next to me. I want you next to me. Why all the formality, Aunt Lily? It's like the reading of a will. Oh, this isn't a happy occasion. Now, Lily explains the episode up until this point.
Yep.
And then Herman, can you believe Lily had me followed? And Grandpa's like, what kind of creatures are we turning into? Which I think was supposed to be funny, but even the can didn't laugh.
Good point.
Now, Lily opens the envelope from the detective agency, much like a Maury Povich episode. She has no idea what the contents are. She's going to open it. She's so sure Herman is out banging other women that
she also like leads into this thing of like, she's like, I'm not going to name who it is.
Yes.
But somebody has been doing something. and Herman goes, I can't believe you think I'm out there cheating. Yes. And I'm like, she never singled you out. You got no idea what this. I mean, he should know, but at the same time, like, this is kind of like in the previous episode where it's like, hey, let's lean into asking about parent night, and he just jumps right to it. And everyone just ignores like this fact of him being like, oh, I can't believe you're accusing me of cheating on you before she's fully revealed everything in the letter.
Yeah.
And nobody else being like, what? Herman, what? Like they all kind of know what's going on, but him just revealing it like that and nobody like questioning it. Like, let's just go right to the letter.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found that a little weird.
I just hate that she hasn't read the letter up until this point.
Yeah, why are you acting? She's acting so smug about it when like she doesn't know for sure.
But she's gonna do it like it's like lie detector results or like the parent father test on Maury Povich. Like we're gonna open this envelope in front of everybody for the first time, and now I'm gonna read the contents, and I'm so sure what the contents are. It doesn't matter. She doesn't even like skim them first. She doesn't do anything. So she opens up, and I wanted to play this clip, but it's like 5 minutes long, so I couldn't.
Yes.
So like
I did write down everything that she says.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah. So
there's some great
she
things
breaks
in
it
this.
down by the minute. I'm not going to do the minutes. Herman left the house, petted a dog, helped a lady across the street, attended church, prevented man from beating horse. This is the first time I laughed the entire episode.
That was
I laughed out loud. There was a man who was going to beat a horse. I'm like, that's a fight you're going to lose, dude. Horses are big and powerful.
Oh,
but good thing Herman was there to stop him. Maybe he was protecting the dude.
You're saving that man's life, honestly. Yeah.
Then he attended church again. And then Grandpa says, so far it sounds like an evening with Pat Boone. Keith?
Pat Boone, singer?
Oh, I thought you were going to have some Pat Boone info for us.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't think that was that obscure. I'm sorry. He was an actor and singer.
Oh,
I lean into the Christian side.
I know who Pat Boone is. I just thought you were going to have extra info on Pat Boone. Because
no.
It's a name that was dropped.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was that deep of a name. Sorry, my bad.
Then they followed the suspect to Gaiety Burlesque Theater. Then Lily's eyes stop, and she stops, and her eyes get real big, right? And then
even Marilyn questions that one.
The next minute, he crossed the street to avoid the Burlesque Theater.
I like that. That was funny.
Then he went to Rudy's Bar and Grill, and Lily's like, "Well, aha, this is it right here." Showed a picture of wife and child to Rudy and refused free beer. And then Herman's like, "I always carry that picture with me." Then went to the park, fed some starving pigeons, bought matches from a poor Manch girl. Went to church again, I think, in there somewhere.
Yep.
And then went home, found wife asleep, kissed wife goodnight, went to bed.
So the detective followed Herman into his house.
And Lily thinks nothing more of this, that this detective is explaining things now that are going on inside of her house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, which made me forget that he went to church 3 times in one evening. And the poor matchstick girl was all of a sudden, the detective has followed him into the house, and she's not questioning it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this list. This is so ridiculous. This is really funny. Yeah.
The prevented man from beating a horse is the highlight of the episode for me.
So weird, yeah.
The only time I laughed out loud. So now, after this list, Lily is very apologetic, and she will never mistrust Herman again in all of her lives. There's lots to hate about what's going on here. So Lily gets whatever. Herman says, I forgive you, but I want you to remember one thing. In the great vegetable market of life, I have never been one to pinch the tomatoes.
What? Oh my God. Does that mean what I think he's talking about? I don't know.
I'm getting a tattoo of that.
Herman pinching tomatoes? Or Herman refusing to pinch tomatoes?
No, just the saying.
Oh, the whole saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and then with like some tomatoes that could be questionable of what they are.
In the great vegetable market of life, I have never been one to pinch the tomatoes.
Yeah.
A weird thing.
Yeah. There's so much going on here that I really hated. One, the surprise opening of the letter and reading it for the first time aloud to everyone. Because what if it was terrible? What if it opens up, followed suspect, got blowjob in black alley, and she's reading out loud? Like, come on.
Yeah.
What is this?
So this guy's totally DTF.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. That's a bad move. That could end in tragedy.
Yes. So now we cut to Herman sneaking out the front door again.
Sorry.
What's that?
You caught me off guard with that one.
Oh. Well, you don't know what's in that letter.
No, but yeah, I wasn't thinking that. I don't know.
So, Herman is sneaking out the front door again. Again. After all of this, he's still sneaking out the front door, and Grandpa stops him. Well, guess what? The Kempner agency gave him another job because he did so good with the last one. And it's to be a bodyguard to protect some poor woman whose husband has been threatening her. His orders are to scare him away. Grandpa laughs. How could you scare anybody? Herman pulls out a noisemaker and blows it in Grandpa's face. And that's kind of my whole feeling for this whole episode is just like a limp blowing into a
yeah.
So Herman's sneaking out. At the same time, in the kitchen, Lily and Marilyn, they're heading out to collect for bundles for Transylvania. And Marilyn's, should be on all fours thanking you, Lily.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't know.
I think they're like implying like werewolf, like wolf thing, but it sounded very like, I don't know, uppity and
yes.
And it was like, ugh. Yeah, I did not like it.
So then we cut to Herman chilling in some woman's living room, but she's on the phone talking to Mr. Kempner, thanking him. Thank you so much for sending over a bodyguard. That was such a terrifying disguise. I apologize because I fainted. She thought she really looked like that. So then we get this.
You're sure I can't get you some coffee or something?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm very comfy.
He's just reading a magazine on the couch.
Don't worry. I'll get it.
The woman goes upstairs to hide.
Good evening. I'm collecting for... Herman, what are you doing here?
Oh, Lily. Well, you see,
If that's my husband, get rid of him.
Lily, you may not believe this, but I'm Secret Agent 702.
Herman, you may not believe this, but I'm Sonny Liston.
Uppercut right on the chin. Glass jaw Herman is down. Lily blows the smoke off her knuckles.
Yes.
And it's like, let's get out of here, Marilyn.
Yeah, that's quite the right hook.
Yes.
I laughed very loud at that. And later on, like an hour or so later, my wife was out, we were making dinner, and she goes, "Did you laugh really loud at something for the Munsters earlier?" I'm like, "Yes, I did."
You getting called
Yep.
out?
Embarrassed.
I was like, "Yeah." It's like Lily levels him with this uppercut after saying that she's Sonny Liston. I actually loved that line. I thought that part was great.
I thought that was pretty fun when she is it my husband? Get rid of him. I was like, that was
Yes.
pretty funny, I thought.
And then, Lily, would you believe I'm Secret Agent 702? What?
Yeah, it's as if it's some high, smug, important thing.
It's like I'm here being a bodyguard. That's what I'm doing at night. Ugh.
I want to give Doris Singleton some credit because I really like, she's talking about how hideous Herman is or whatever, and she like takes a second before she goes in to talk to him, like where she feels like she has to compose herself. She shakes her head and is like, whew, and then she like walks in there. I love that. That was like a nice subtle like thing. It was like, wow, she really can't stand the look of Herman at all.
So grotesque. Now that was the end of the main episode because we come back to the button.
Yeah.
Herman on the couch with a bandage on his chin. And Lily's next to him. Grandpa and Marilyn are standing on either side. And Herman explains the episode to Lily. And then says he got fired when she knocked him out. And then Lily apologizes again. "Oh, I'm so sorry, pussycat, blah, 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 blah." And then they get up and leave. "Let's go make pudding for my strong man," or something. I can't remember what it was. Like, let's go
more milk yeah.
or make a sandwich. Or it was really something. It was bad. Then Grandpa laughs. "Boy, Herman, you sure got yourself into a mess again this time." "Well, you sure did it this time, Herman." Herman says he's never going to be a detective again. But he was reading a magazine at Miss Andrews' house, right? And he saw this in the back of the magazine. He's going to study to be a hairdresser and make a fortune with his own beauty parlor. Grandpa grabs the magazine and rips it in half. Now, before, okay, we'll talk about it later. Grabs the magazine, rips it in half, slaps it down in Herman's hand, walks away. Herman looks sad. Credits.
Solid end.
I did like the end joke. I think they wrapped it up pretty well with that.
Didn't need an overall punchline. The act of just ripping the thing up, like, is a solid end. Like, Herman, just stop doing these harebrained schemes.
Yeah.
And I liked visualizing Herman as a hairdresser. I was like, I hope that's what the next episode is, because that would be an awesome episode. As long as he doesn't, do any unseemly things. I think I would like to see that.
So, okay. That was season 1, episode 23. Follow that, Munster. What did you guys think?
There are like 3 things that I actually really dug, like parts that I really dug in this thing. 4 if you count Lily's punch. But overall, like, it's, I don't know. There's 2. Every time they do something really good, they throw in like a lame joke, like one of their lame, like, where the Munsters, Frankenstein monster-esque type line, but for whichever character it is. So I couldn't ever fully get into it, along with like the very questionable things of the day, throwing me off there. But I mean, Eddie's part at the beginning, and then the part with Grandpa describing what the person looks like, and then just stopping and staring at him every time. I really enjoyed that a lot. But yeah, and the ridiculousness of the letter thing. But yes, there's so many problems though going on around these things that it makes it kind of hard to enjoy this episode as much as I think I probably should have.
What about you, Terry?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I did like some stuff in it. It's just, I feel like it's just not very like tightly written. There's just a lot of, like, it's weird. Why can't he just tell everybody that he's being a detective? I feel like you could still kind of do the similar plot line without that. And of course, there's some pretty bad, like, racist stuff in this that really did shake me a little bit. I was like, really? Like, maybe it was of the time, but still, it's just like, because it is kind of like a wholesome family kind of thing. So when you see something like that, I'm just like, ugh, I don't like that. I don't know. Yeah, I would agree that this seems like it's rated pretty high. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but it did have a couple moments here and there that I thought were pretty funny. But overall, I would say, kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
This was like episode 23, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so like, it's been 5 that have been like super solid from start to finish, and there's been a couple that are really clunkers, but the majority of them, like in the bell curve, is this 2 or 3 like solid scenes surrounded by a bunch of, man, you're just punching something up a little bit would have like made this amazing.
Yeah, well, amazing is a strong word, but there's a lot here that is, I don't know. This whole episode, like, even if we like jettison the racist stuff, right?
Right.
The whole thing to me doesn't make any sense. Why is Herman being detective? And if it's a get rich money scheme, that's not Herman. That's Grandpa. Grandpa's the one that does those things. So it almost feels like this should have been a Grandpa episode where he's trying to be detective.
Oh, I would have liked that, I think. Yeah.
And then Herman is the level-headed, like, oh, this is a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. Then Grandpa goes out and does these things. But then you don't get the Grandpa flandering angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which really feels like, I don't know. That feels like, oh, what if we had Herman be a detective and he has to follow himself, and then it accidentally looks like he's stepping on Lily. And I guess that's how they fill it in. I don't know. To me, this episode, bad. Not a good episode. One funny line about stopping a man beating a horse. One funny Eddie moment, and the rest is kaplooey. I know what broke me this episode. What broke? Okay, so I realized I was listening back to some episodes, and I realized, but we say what broke the babysitter, but that doesn't make any sense. If this is your first episode, how would you know what we're talking about?
Oh, that's a good
point. Episode 1, they hired a babysitter that was unflappable. Nothing that happened in Munster Town broke this babysitter. So something's got to break her. What broke her in this episode, Keith?
I think the fact that she's listening to Herman on the phone, like she's in the next room, and she realizes that he said to send all the information to his work, and then hangs up. Never tells him where he works.
Sure.
Also put it under his code name. So even if they didn't know where to send it, they would be like Agent 702 at the parlor, and who's
return to
702?
sender? Yep.
Yeah, so how does he get all this stuff in the first place? I think that's what breaks her, is that she's like, "What? You didn't tell him anything. How is he ever going to get your shit?"
Well, maybe he got upgraded. They say he's been there for years. He was first the nail boy, but now he's the mail boy, so he probably gets to see it first.
Yeah, but they don't know where to send it to. He's hung up on.
They don't even know his name, right?
Yeah,
so
that's a good
he's
point.
just 702 is all he's referred himself to. So they have to be able to figure out, okay, who are we sending all this information about him to him that even though he doesn't know it's him.
So
what place of business do you refer? Yeah, what are you referencing?
He could have been like, just use. So there's a few things here, right? Either he goes by 702, but they know his real name, right? So that would mean
that'd been funny.
They know that Lily Munster is probably related in some way.
Yeah.
Which again leads me to believe that the 702 is something on a document that he got from people in Tijuana, because when he calls them and they're like, "It's this guy 702, he's calling us for a job," I don't think he ever tells them who he is either.
I understand that, but so that was my thing. It's either this situation where he's like, "Hello, this is Herman Munster, but please call me by my code name 702," or they only know him as 702, and this Kempner agency is willing to hire a person that goes by simply a number. They don't know who he is, where he comes from, what he is. He could be some crazy lunatic nut job out being a serial killer. You don't know who he is.
Some weirdo hanging out in the parks watching people, stalking them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're like, let's give him that, and then the union can't be bothered if he dies. I did not like this episode. It was just not good. All right, Terry, what broke the babysitter?
Oh, I think it's so when Herman's drawing this picture and Grandpa's trying to convince him that that's him, the babysitter kind of cuts. Like, let me look at it, and she looks. She's like, "It's obviously you, Herman." And Herman keeps denying it, and she starts to point out feature by feature why this is Herman, and Herman is just. It can't be me. I would never go cheat on my wife. It's like, no, we're not talking about that, Herman. We're talking about the looks right here. Look, this is you. This is you. And he's like, oh, no, I don't know about that. And then, eventually she just throws the paper in his face and just storms out. It's like, I can't take this anymore. And just, she slams the door, gets in her car, and drives away. Not fast motion. She is very serious about this and drives off. Yeah.
And I think the babysitter broke. Same scene when Grandpa took that pencil and stuck it in his mouth and sharpened it. And she's like, we were in the front room last week. I was doing the crossword. My pencil broke. I asked, do you guys have a pencil sharpener? And everyone looked at me like I was stupid. I had to go home and get another pencil to finish the crossword. And yet you could have just stuck that shit in your mouth and sharpened it? Oh, that's what broke the babysitter.
Mm-hmm. And then I think off camera, the director, I think it broke him when he realized Al Lewis just did that
for fun,
practical effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
boy.
Get out of the trick pencil. He's already done.
Yeah.
He's already done, man.
Yeah.
What trick pencil?
What do you mean?
He's gone through 5 of these already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, then Dr. Dudley comes in. A man should not be able to eat a pencil.
Where's my glasses? I can't even see the pencil.
Oh,
are you a penguin?
Boy, Herman Munster.
Al's been
pretty good.
Yep. What did he say that one time? He had the nerve to have children. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, didn't everybody see Al doing this over by craft services all morning? Showing this trick off all day.
There's sandwiches, but there's like vegetables, and then a stack of pencils, and he just sits there. It's like a cartoon beaver.
They got mad because he kept getting pencil shavings on some of the sandwiches. It's very annoying.
Yeah. All right. Boy, that was season 1, episode 23, Follow That Monster. and we made it through.
We did.
We did
with
it.
flying colors.
Congratulations, guys. We did it.
Oh, that was a tough one. That was a real tough one. It was hard to even go through because it was so unenjoyable. All right, Keith, what do you got for the peoples to wet their whistles and appetites?
Let's see. We're probably 1 week away from.
We're probably 8/21 if the world is good to me.
All right, we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from season 2 of That Was Great, Wasn't It? Dropping. We are watching the 1989 Karate Kid cartoon, and I've deep diving into the recording sessions right now for it, and it is a doozy. I've done it yet again. I really should research these things more before I decide what I'm going to watch, and I didn't, and now I'm going to pay for it for 13 episodes.
Oops.
If only you'd listened to your listener suggestions. We all had really great suggestions, but no, you didn't want to do that, did you?
I haven't heard any of these suggestions yet. But while you're waiting for that, you can go back and listen to the summer series of Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines, which was absolutely fantastic. Or you can go listen to season 1, which is Pro Stars, which is the opposite of fantastic, but still a good series to listen to.
I'm lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby. Oops, Keith did it again. He watched shitty cartoons.
Is that the theme for season 2? I like this.
Innocent.
Dr. Dre of Kansas, you might have some work to do there.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't really. I picked the things out, and then I'm like, and then once I see when they exactly came out, Saturdays in 1989, freshman year, I had football. I had just met Derek when this came out.
Why you pitted me to this shit?
It's your fault. No, but we freshman football games were on Saturday, so again, I probably was not watching any Saturday morning cartoons this time.
Yeah,
and still thought that I wanted to pick this, wondering if it held up or not, and I don't think I ever watched it.
Dang. Yeah. Well, it happens.
Yeah.
Maybe season 3 will finally
it's happened twice
the people
now.
will get what they want.
Yeah. I should hopefully by third season be a charm. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
How about you, Terry?
I do another podcast called Run the Reel. We talk about movies and such. I believe we're probably still going to be on hiatus. But we were talking about summer blockbuster movies. We did Speed. We did Point Break. And coming up once we come back from hiatus will be Risky Business.
Ooh,
so
that was a summer blockbuster?
Get excited. Came out in the summer, made lots of money. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I did not know that movie. That was the movie with that scene in it. It blew my mind when he came sliding down in his underwear playing air guitar.
Just like those old.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Classic. Yeah, I'll just say now, I really like that movie. So, yeah, tune in if you're interested. If you didn't like it, let us know.
I remember when that came out, it was a really popular movie. I remember it was like one of those like surprise summer hits or sleeper hits.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like different than I expected it to be. It wasn't like I thought it was gonna be kind of just like your typical, I don't know, teen sex comedy, rom-com maybe. I had no idea, but it subverted my expectations a bit. And I was happy about it.
And now like nearly 40 years later, Tom Cruise still king of the summer.
Oh yeah, Top Gun 2. Yeah, that's true. He's king.
He's had like one summer movie in the last 15 years.
I don't know. It was good. It was good. So
king of the summer.
Fair enough.
I freaking love that one.
Cool.
I haven't seen it.
All right. And as for me, I got nothing but this. Munsters plus Munsters Patreon.
Oh yes.
We've traversed the Munsterverse. We've done other things. Another new Patreon episode just came out yesterday. Don't know what it is yet because it hasn't been recorded.
It'll be worth it though. Trust me.
I hope so.
It'll be worth it.
Do we know what it is?
Is it the next one we're doing? I think we're talking about, what was it, the Saturday the 14th?
Saturday the 14th. Right? A skooma stowaway. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to this one.
Mm-hmm.
What did we bring back from the depths of hell?
What is Return from the Depths of Hell? I have an idea for this episode. I think Terry's doing some stuff too, so I think it'll be a fun one.
Yes, it'll be exciting.
I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, Munster Hunters on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon. Make sure you do their MunsterHunters.com, all that good stuff. MunsterHunters at Gmail.
Let us know. Sometimes we get a little down on these episodes. If you like it, let us know. That we'd love to hear other opinions on it. If you hated it like we do sometimes, then also we'd love to hear that as well.
I'm sure there's people that are willing to dive in from a bullet for this episode. I just don't know why.
There are, Derek also is in painstaking detail. Did he miss something important that we should have?
Spoiler: there's nothing important in this episode.
No, I mean, is there a key thing that somebody thought was great? Send it to us at our Gmail. Maybe Derek skipped over something; he just didn't catch it. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a chance for sure.
Yeah.
Just talk to us.
I zone out every once in a while when I'm watching these episodes, and it's very possible I missed something. All right. Well, I mean, that's another exciting one in the books.
I like the idea, Derek. You're zoning out, and all of a sudden you come to, and you've got a full page of notes.
Oh, yeah.
That you don't remember writing.
Nope. Lost time.
Yeah.
That's called the Munster bins.
That is the Munster bins right there. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's disturbing and gross. All right.
Grotesque.
And time to close it out like
we always do.
This is a police lineup. Here, desperate criminals who have been brought to bay appear before the detective force and are questioned by the chief detective.
Good evening.
Listen.
Damn it.
You didn't do the cold open thing.
No.
Or the whatever, the summary. That looks like him in the background, standing there.
Is it?
I don't know. Doesn't it?
Get off. Name, Hitchcock, Alfred. Height, 5'6". Weight, prisoner refuses to make a statement. Here's his record. 1940, picked up on suspicion. 1942, spellbound. 1944, notorious. 1955, rear window. 1956, the man who knew too much. Anything to say, Hitchcock?
Well, sir, I'm maintaining a good record, but I'm trying to do better.
What?
Better? You call this latest charge doing better? Appearing on television.
I'm sorry, sir, but my family was hungry.
Take him away.
Wait a minute, sir. You've got the wrong man. Don't you want to see a sample of my work?
Okay. Here's what we found on him when we picked him up.
The Munster Hunters are Derek Glascock, Keith Gawla, and Terry Vickroy. Keith is the host of the Pop-Up Filmcast, and that was great, wasn't it? Both shows can be found wherever you subscribe to podcasts. For more about Keith's shows, you can follow Pop-Up Filmcast on Twitter at Pop-Up Filmcast. And that was great, wasn't it? At How Great Was That? You can also follow Keith on Twitter at KG3030. Terry is one of the hosts of Run the Reel. It's a movie podcast that does deep dives on films with a theme. You can follow Run the Reel on Twitter at Run the Reel. You can also follow Terry on Twitter at Terry_Vickroy. If you would like more musings from me, you can follow on Twitter at Derek the number 9 and the word 9. Follow Munster Hunters on Twitter at Munster Hunters and subscribe on your podcatcher of choice for more Munster Hunter fun. Munster Hunters is mixed and edited by me, Derek. All original music is composed and mixed by Terry Vickroy, and executive producers are me and Keith Gawla. The Munster Hunters is a Krispy Dodo production.